Hey singers, it's Laura. Welcome back to the weekly warm-up. Today we're talking about sight reading. Now, sight reading is an area where most singers feel they have room to improve, and today I'm going to show you the process that I use when approaching a new piece. It's very straightforward, and although I can't claim to be the world's greatest sight reader, it does get me through looking at a new piece for the first time and kind of building my skills so that each time I do it, I'm a little more confident. This process is going to begin with figuring out what key I'm in. So if this is something you don't know how to do, or it's been a while and you'd like a refresher, be sure to check out the video I'm linking in the cards above or the downloadable PDF that's down in the description box. Now, once I've figured out what key I'm in, I'm also going to look at the time signature. And that's going to be those two numbers at the start that are going to tell me how many beats in the bar and what kind of note gets the beat. And now, once I've got the key and the meter, I'm gonna take a moment, just a few seconds, to contextualize that key and meter. And what I mean by that is I want you to sing a few scales in the key in that meter. So if I've got a piece that's in 4/4 in the key of E flat, then maybe what I'm gonna do is I'll march in a 4/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe I'll sing a scale in E flat in 4/4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, but taking that time so that I have the key and the feeling of the rhythm in my body is gonna save me so many mistakes later. Now that I've got my key and my meter in context, I'm going to attack the language. I know some of you are getting antsy. You just want to start reading, but I'm telling you this preparatory material, which really takes no longer than a minute or two, is going to really help. So I'm going to look at the language, and if I'm able to pronounce that language, I'm just going to go ahead and speak it in the rhythm, again, with my body moving. So in this case, I won't have pitch. I'm just going to speak in the rhythm. Now, if I don't know the language at this point, I may take the time to write in my phonetic guidelines so that I can pronounce it. But if I don't want to do that, maybe I'll just do it on a syllable like la 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 or do do do. But no matter what, even if I don't know the language, I'm still going to speak the note values in rhythm. So now that I have set up the context for the key and the meter, and I've spoken through the language, I'm finally ready to actually read through. Now, if this is a long piece, I might just do this in sections, but for each one, I'll figure out what key am I in, what meter am I in, I'll move my body, I'll hear the key, I'll speak the text, and then I'll sing that part. Now, I don't do a lot of thinking about intervals, up a sixth, down a third, up a fourth. There are times when that is necessary, but I will say, if you're just getting into sight reading, doing it in the context of the key is so much more effective than trying to learn the intervals and hearing each one as you go. Hearing the intervals is really sort of like groping in the dark and trying to take one step and then the next step. Whereas in the context, it's like you've got a map. So that is the system. Now I'm gonna show you just quickly how I might apply it in a real life piece of music. So I grabbed a Bach cantata off the shelf, and I'm gonna just grab the final chorale. It's fairly straightforward. And as you can see here, it looks like we're starting out in B flat in 3/4. So remember our first step, figure out the key, I've got it, and figure out the time signature, but now I have to really get that context into my body. So there's a B flat. I'm going to start moving my body in a 3/4 pattern. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm gonna sing some scales in the key. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Next is speaking the text in rhythm. Now, I feel comfortable doing this in the German, but of course you could also just do it on do, do, do. What is not optional is keeping the body moving. So I've got my quarter note pace here, and 1, 2, 3, I'm going to speak. Sprich ja zu etc. Now I know where the words all fit in. I've still got that meter, that rhythm in my body, and I am ready to give it a shot. So I'm gonna give myself my first note. It's that B flat. I know that's my home base. And I'm just gonna go ahead and sing. 1, 2, 3, I'll jump in. Sprich ja zu meinen Taten. I didn't want to sit around and just sing all of a Bach chorale to you. That's not interesting. But I do want to say, I know that that's really straightforward, but that is how the process works. And if you are looking at a piece of music that is tonal, so something that is not completely atonal, out there chromatic, this will work. And having the context of the key and the meter is going to be so effective in helping you to sort of know where you're driving as you navigate through your piece. So give it a try, apply this. If you do need a little refresher on those keys, be sure to check that video out. And in the meanwhile, thank you for practicing.